Assalamu alaikum guys, welcome to Learn English with Syal. Today our topic is the comparison of adjectives. There are different steps to identify the comparisons and to use the correct comparisons of adjectives and errors of adjectives, and even though the degrees of adjectives will be presented in this lecture. So if you are new at my channels, I would like to appreciate you to like, subscribe and comments in my channel. Okay, so let's start our today topics. But before these topics, I want to show you the degrees of adjectives, and then we will start this one. Like these are the some degrees of adjectives. We can say, in other words, making comparisons with the use of degrees of adjectives mean the positive, the comparative, and the superlative degrees, and also the regular and irregular degrees of the adjectives also included in this lecture. So first of all, just having a look on the following sentences. For example, the first one is Rama's mangoes is sweet, and then we having we having another sentence. Hari's mango is sweeter than the Rama's. So here the word is sweeter. We are just using as an adjective. And then in the third sentence, like Govinda's mangoes is sweetest of all. So we have used here the three types of degrees of adjectives. The first one is sweet, then sweeter, and then sweetest. So in first sentence we use the positive degree of that type of adjective, and in the second sentence we make the comparison between two peoples, and in this way we used degree, mean the comparative degree of adjectives in this sentence. And in third sentence we just make the comparison with all, and we use the est degree of the comparisons, mean the highest degree of comparisons here, mean the superlative degrees. So according to these all, we have the definitions of these degrees. Mean the adjective sweet, we can call this one is a positive degree, and the sweeter is a comparative degree, and sweetest is a superlative degree. So what is the positive degree? So positive degree of an adjective is the adjective in its simple form. It means that we are going to show the personal quality of that person or that thing or that place. It is used when no comparison is made in this quality. And the second one is in comparative degree of adjective denotes a higher degree of quality than the positive, and in this degree we just make the comparison of two things, two set of things, and that's why we call this one is a comparative degree. Like as the boy is, this boy is stronger than that, which of these two pens is the better, apples are towards than the orange. So the superlative degree, the third one is superlative degree. So superlative degree of an adjective denotes the highest degree of the quality, in which we make the comparison of one thing with all the things. Mean one person of the class is being compared with the whole class, with the entire class. Like this boy is the strongest in this class. So this is the third degree of adjective. Okay, then the point is here, like formation of comparative degree and superlative degrees, how we can make the comparative degree from the positive degree, and how we can make the superlative degree from the comparative degree and the positive degree. So here is a table. You can see here that according to the syllables we make these all things accordingly, as a comparative by adding er, and as a superlative by adding est degree. To the positive degree, in only in these tables we just add the er degree to make them the comparative degree. Then we use here est and to make them all the superlative degrees. For example, as sweet, sweeter, sweetest, small, smaller, smallest, tall, taller, tallest, and then clever, cleverest, and cleverest. Like these are some examples of formation of adjectives into comparative and superlative degrees. There are many steps and methods to just make them the comparative and superlative degrees. If in the positive degrees some occurrences of the letters at the end of these degrees. For example, happy, we just change the y or place the y into I and then use the er and est degree. For example, happy, happier and happiest, easy, easier and easiest, heavy, heavier and heaviest. We just change the y into I and then use er and then use est. So when the positive word one syllable and ends in a single consonant preceded by a short vowel, this consonant is doubled before the adding er and est. For example, we are using the vowel sounds in the middle of these words, and at the end we are having the consonants. So we repeat the consonants twice time to make them the comparative and superlative degrees. For example, red, redder, reddest, and then bigger, bigger, biggest. Mean we are repeating D twice times, and then G twice time, and then T twice times, and then N twice times. This one is the second step to make them the comparative and superlative orders of these degrees. Then the point is here, like the adjectives of more than two syllables form the comparative and superlative, putting more and most before the positive. For example, as we are having here like beautiful, more beautiful, and most beautiful. We are using here the more and most word to make them comparative and superlative degrees. And then the next step is, despite these oaths, the two syllabus adjectives ending in full or less or ing or ed and many others like modern, recent, foolish, famous, certain take more and most to make them comparative and superlative degrees instead of these whole things. Then the following take either er or est more and more. Mean we can use here more and most. For example, she is polite, she is more polite, or she is most polite in this way. Then the comparative in er is not used when we compare two qualities in the same person or thing. We just use these in the sort of more and more, adding more and most to just make the comparison of these two things. And but if we wish to say that the courage of Rama is greater than this Parthians, we must say Rama is more brave than like that person. And when two objects are compared with each other, the latter term of comparisons must exclude the former, as like iron is most useful than any other metal. If we say iron is more useful than any metals, so that is the same thing as saying iron is more useful than iron, and since iron is itself as a metal. The later last concepts of this chapter is that irregular comparisons, and we can call this one irregulars, degrees of adjectives to make them comparative and superlatives. In irregulars, we all know that there is a changing of spellings. Regular degrees are degrees in which we are just adding er and est to make them comparative and superlative. But in irregulars, we have to change the spelling of these degrees to make them comparative and superlative. Like as you can see here in this picture, that older, elder, and eldest. We change the spelling of these things, then we make them the comparisons of these three peoples. Like the same good, better, best. Well is also addition in like better, best. Then bad, evil, ill, worse, and worst. Like little, like less, lesser, or least, much, more, most. Then many, more, and most. Like these are the some instances of the irregular degrees to make them comparative and superlative. Then we are having a table to look out there and just clear the concepts of these all things. Like here we can see the regular degrees mean the addition of er and est, no change in spellings, like as tall, taller, tallest. And irregular degrees like change in spellings, good, better, best, beautiful, more beautiful, and most beautiful. Addition of the new words are changing in spellings. We can say this one is a irregular degrees of adjectives. So here is the exercise for you to just fill these things accordingly and clear your concepts. If you are having any problems, feel free to comments. Inshallah, I will reply you soon. Thank you so much for watching.